Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm John Terre, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I welcome you to our bi-weekly opportunity to talk to business leaders and community leaders about the work they're doing to help strengthen our economy, lift our community. And the great opportunity we have today is to talk with Chris White, who is the co-founder and CEO of Shinesty, which you know for its colorful outfits that are available to you online for sale. And they are also the Entrepreneur of the Year award winner at our Celebration of Leadership. But more about the Celebration of Leadership and about Shinesty in just a moment. But just first, a few things from the Boulder Chamber. So we have a couple of great events coming up. One, we have on March 10th at 8 a.m. a business before hours, and it's going to be at Boulder B-Cycle. Now, B-Cycle has converted to electric bikes, and I just have to tell you, as somebody who has experienced it and was thinking, well, how wimpy electric bikes? I am a total convert. It is an amazing way to get around town, and B-Cycle makes them available to you through their delivery system and locations all around town to conveniently travel to and from work, to transit, to lunch, whatever. And so we're going to learn about it at the business before hours, where there will also be great networking, 8 a.m. on March 10th. And then we have a Boulder Young Professionals Happy Hour, and that's going to be on March 23rd at 5 p.m. at the Boulder Marriott Canyons Restaurant and Bar. And I will tell you, it's a beautiful location. They have wonderful art. It's a beautiful facility, all opened up, ready to go, because we're getting past that whole COVID thing and we're getting back together, networking, connection, sans masque. So looking forward to seeing you. That's on March 23rd at 5 p.m. And then finally, last but not least, we have our annual meeting and celebration of leadership, and that's on March 17th. It starts at 5:30, and it's going to be in the Glenn Miller Ballroom at the University Memorial Center. And it's going to be a fabulous opportunity to honor, pay tribute to amazing business and community leaders who, as I've said before, represent the strength of our business community, the uniqueness of it, that helps support a strong economy and help lift our entire community through not just their business success, but through their great works in our community on behalf of things outside of business even. So look forward to that March 17th at 5:30. And as a preview, we're gonna have a little conversation with one of our award winners, Chris White. So Chris is the founder of Shinesty. And rather than have me describe it any further, I'm gonna ask you, Chris, can you just describe Shinesty and just what was your entrepreneurial story?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Shinesty is an online, irreverent apparel retailer.
Sure.
We sell product for, at first, much more moment type products. So think about things for Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, a Broncos game, a CU Buffs game. But over the last 3 or 4 years, we've really expanded broadly into all types of irreverent products, including underwear, socks, and a variety of other things. Masks,
yeah.
Indeed. Hopefully not for much longer.
Don't need those distance.
Yeah, hopefully not for much longer. But yeah, we're an irreverent online retailer. Our mission is to force the world to take itself less seriously.
Cool.
Our opinion is that there's a lot of very serious things in the world, as we saw over the last 2 years especially. The apparel that you buy doesn't have to be one of those.
Yeah.
And that a good joke can get past a lot of differences that people have, and humor is an important part of being human, of the human condition.
I believe that myself personally, though I can't think of a good joke to tell at this moment, but I will just ask, so tell me how you guys got started.
Yeah, sure. So I actually graduated from the CU JD MBA program in 2015.
Go see you.
Yeah, and during school, we were in the entrepreneurial program at CU. My business partner and I were looking for something to start. We got some advice that was like, hey, if you want to start a company, your best chance of success, or if you do something where what you're good at crosses over with what you like and what you can make money doing.
Yep.
I think there's actually a book about that now. I don't remember what it is offhand, but somebody told us that.
I've got to think about which book that is.
And we were like, genius.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, what we liked doing was socializing, going to events. My background is in apparel sales and apparel design. During college, I paid my way through school doing that. And so that kind of gave us a little inkling of an idea. We started out the company, the concept was really to curate product for life social moments. Do it in a very funny way, do it in a way that would make our friends, degenerate friends, I would say, laugh.
Cool. I would have liked your friends.
Yes, and I could tell. And that's kind of how we got started. We actually started as a thrift vintage shop online, and from there kind of learned as we went and evolved into what we are today, which is we design and produce all of our own product. We have about 100 or so employees, mostly here in Colorado in the Denver Boulder area. And yeah, that's kind of where we are today.
It's a great story. I love the connection to our local university and how they encouraged you in, you know, going with your heart. Something
very much, and we got credit, you know, for working on the company in school.
Oh man,
it's
a deal.
Double, yeah.
It's like no more book reading. I'm just going to go right to it. That's cool.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you tell me, you started here in Boulder, and so what were the qualities of the Boulder entrepreneurial ecosystem that supported you and helped you lead you to your success?
Yeah, I think Boulder is definitely a special place for a lot of reasons. One, obviously, it's beautiful. It's an amazing place to live.
Sure.
But from an entrepreneurial or like small business standpoint, I think probably the biggest thing is just the openness. First, the high quality of entrepreneurs that live here. Yeah. And then the openness to talk, to advise, to help, to mentor, especially at the very beginning stages. Yeah. You know, when we started Shinesty, we did countless programs, ones at CU, ones with Boulder, ones with Techstars, anything we could get our hands on to basically learn, and that's how we did it. When we started this company, we were 24 years old, so we were young, didn't know much, didn't have a lot of life experience, and so that mentorship that we got from people in the community, from the school, from the businesses who were succeeding or had already succeeded here in Boulder was incredibly helpful.
So people just coming around you from the very basics of business development to maybe sort of in your special field, for example.
And even just, you know, having the ability to ask someone who you wouldn't normally have the opportunity to get in front of. Yeah. Brad Feld, for example, like being able to ask him and he responds to you and gives you half an hour of his time.
Incredibly generous.
That's not something that you get in most places.
I love that quality about our community. I often tout it. I ask folks, you know, I hear Boulder is collaborative, and folks go like nothing they've ever experienced when they move here. They just are fascinated by it. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. It's in the time that you've been in business, Boulder has changed in certain ways. Yep. Wondering just how can the Boulder business community and the community at large be more supportive of entrepreneurs like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the community and the town and the school are incredibly supportive of entrepreneurs. Yeah. When it comes to kind of the basics and doing a lot more than I think a lot of other cities do, especially talking to my friends who live in other states and other places who aren't maybe as entrepreneurial as the Boulder community is. I do think like housing is an issue for people who are building companies with a lot of employees. And the reason being is, you know, when we started, like I said, we were 24 years old, very young. As we've grown, we've obviously hired people of all ages across the spectrum, and people get older and they want to purchase houses, and that's tough in Boulder, right? So we've definitely had some people who've moved out of town because they can't afford to purchase a house and they want to buy an asset and live in an asset here. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that's been present, you know, and obviously as home prices have gone wild, which is great for people who own homes.
Got one, yeah.
However, if you don't have one, it becomes tough, right? You want to start a family, you want to start building assets for yourself, and that's tough to do in Boulder.
And then what about for some of the beginning employees or sort of the younger staff members? I mean, are they having difficulty locating in Boulder?
Yeah, I think there's enough like rent and rental properties for the younger employees. It's usually, you know, when people start to build a career, they want to set down roots, and they start to have kids, or they start to get married, and they start to think about things beyond the weekend.
Sure.
Which happens, you know, when you get past your
I have not ever gotten there, but I got your
middle to
voice.
late 20s, and you say, hey, I want to start building something instead of just renting all the time. And you know, we've definitely lost employees, not to the company, but who've just moved out of town because they can't afford to live here, so they've had to move to other areas between Denver and Boulder, or to Denver, or just places with more housing options.
I got you. You know, I will say that I remember a number of years ago when I first met you and went to your offices, and they were in Flatirons Industrial Park, and you and I had a conversation about, boy, it would be so nice to have housing just in this vicinity.
Right.
And it was very inspirational for me and for ultimately the Chamber in helping to promote what is now called the East Boulder Sub-Community Plan, which is going to infuse that area with additional housing opportunities. So I will tell you, may not have known it, but you inspired a movement. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. So you're now reached a milestone in just success for this business. The Esprit Entrepreneur Award, that's the milestone I'm talking about.
Yes.
But where does it go from here for Shinesty?
Yeah, you know, for us, our goal is to become the #1 irreverent retailer in the world.
Wow. Is there any other?
There are some, but
okay.
You know, again, our opinion is that every year that goes by, everything seems to get so much more serious, so much more political, so much more adversarial, so intense. Yeah. And part of being a human is being able to laugh, to joke. Yeah. At least from my perspective, not for everybody, but it's to laugh, to joke, to smile, to have a good time with the good people in your life. And so we think that retail, there's a big opportunity to inject that into the retail world, especially in the e-commerce world, which is where we live. You know, all of our sales are done online, and so that's our goal. We're going to keep building this thing with the goal of becoming the top irreverent retailer in the world. You know, we see green fields ahead. We see opportunity to continue to scale and grow, and that's kind of where we're headed.
I love it. Well, it's funny. I was just on a panel discussion about integrity and truth, and when somebody brought up the Boy Scout oath has being reverent, but maybe they need just a little irreverence to bring it all together, to make us all lift all of our spirits. Well, I'll just say I'm so impressed with Shinesty. I love watching a football game and just seeing some of your clothing online. As people in the stands are wearing the football uniform jackets, etc. So I thank you for being a successful business in our community, but also for what fun and spirit you bring to the apparel industry and at large. And pleasure to honor you at these the celebration of leadership.
Thank you.
So thank you for being with us on Chamber Chat. And so we'll close it down there, and I'll just say it's been great chatting with you here at Chamber Chat, and we'll see you hopefully at the Celebration of Leadership on March 17th at UMC Ballroom. It's going to be a fabulous event, a great reconvening of our business community and just networking, but also honoring our great business and community leaders. So we'll see you at the Celebration of Leadership, and of course, we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.